Hey everybody, we're back. This is Mike. It's been about a week. I was getting impatient and was going to go like 3 days, and between work and life, that did not happen. So, I wanted to go over something that I forgot to mention in the last video, and ties back in with the first video, which I actually just recorded, where I'm standing by the trees. And I showed the scrap pieces from the first billet of Stratacite. And in many of them, they were, the layers were just flat. So one of the reasons why I restarted this one was, like in the last video where I angled the hammer to make lines and cracks. And I had mentioned that I had rolled pieces of the layers and put them across. I think they were this way now. Whatever. Put them across, inside, folded over them, hammered them flat. This is still quite wet, but it's pretty solid. My first one, once my first fold was done, it was a little bit thicker than this, I want to say. And when I finally cut it and noticed how many of the layers were just flat, I realized that you get a stack of paper, you hit it with a hammer, even if it's wet, the indentations, the shearing, the controlled chaos you're trying to add to the inside is only going to go so far in, and then you're just going to have flat paper, which also decreases the chance that the inner layers will lock together. So when I made my second billet, I pretty much started the same way. So after my first hammering and folding, I actually took it apart, separated it a little bit, wow, and made it thinner to start with. So more of the hammer action went through the layers. Hopefully, when I cut this, there will be more activity inside, more geological formation. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we're going to see. Actually, I don't think this is going to fold again. We'll try it. Like I said last time, so the point is, if you're going to do this, start thinner. Think about how the force you're exerting is going to go through the layers. I was also more gentle the first time around, so the force I was applying wasn't going to make it through the layers even if I wanted them to. This time, giving it a little bit more power. The edges will almost never seal. Well, they will. The next step, whether we fold it or not, I'm going to clamp this, let it dry again. And the next time I do this, I switch up the water with, I have a jug of, I have a gallon jug. You can buy regular white school glue in gallon jugs. normally from a hardware store. For other artistic purposes, a while back that my wife was working on, we watered those down to about 1 part glue to 9 parts water. So 10 parts total. Really, really thin glue. I have a container where I have about 1 part of that mixture and about 9 parts water. And once I get to the point where I'm pretty happy with how this is working out and it's pretty solid, instead of using regular water, I dip it in there so that hopefully all these loose fibers that are starting to interlock stiffen and hold each other, because there's that tiny bit of glue. It's not going to solidify the whole thing. It's just going to give it a little bit more stiffness and hold. I'm going to see. I mean, this is pretty solid already, so I'm just going to see if it's even worth trying to fold it. You know what? I like that line. It's just going to add more features and textures inside. Let's go. Okay, it's going that way, so we want to go this way. Should really do something about my anvil wobbling. Okay, now I made that seam here. Will this... That's another thing. Once they all start getting together, when you dunk it, the water is not getting saturated all the way through it. Just the outer layers. This is probably a really bad idea. This edge that we folded and hammered before, is really solid. I mean, it'll go, but do I want it to? Nope, I don't want it to. So we will have to content ourselves. I mean, if you're doing this, if you're following along, if you figured out once you clamp it, you throw it in an oven to dry it out faster, hint, hint. Do what you want. If you want to fold it again at this point, that's your prerogative. This section is getting torn apart, but if it all actually holds, it's going to look really cool. See, that buckled because I tried folding it. That's another thing with forging metal. You don't want to get your finger in there and pull layers. So, but when you're doing this, you'll notice it feels right and it looks right. And you can actually change the layering by tugging with your fingers. So be careful. You may hit yourself in the fingers. You're just going to want to, like, instinctually get your fingers in the way of the hammer. And I'm saying, don't start yelling at me if you beat yourself in the finger with a hammer. Obviously, I'm going real light and gentle right now. You know, it's going to be funny getting through this whole thing and realizing I didn't hit record. Nope, it's recording. So this will be the last time I do this just with water on this particular stack or billet. Getting the edges flat isn't really super important because the clamping is just going to squeeze everything out again. But I don't know. I'm a stickler. I want it to just hold and be done. But it isn't about the gluing. We're not making a glued composite. We are... you know what? Maybe by the time we're done with the lacquering and the polyurethaning and all that, maybe it is just a glued paper composite. I don't know. But for now, we're beating wet paper with a hammer. And creating strata. And unless you get real good with your control, which I'm not there yet, you're going to have areas that are slightly thinner. This is angling this way. It's okay, as long as you have internals that you can work with. Like I said, this will probably get cut off and not used for anything. Maybe I should get a vat and start making paper out of my scraps. I don't know. But seeing as how this is mostly brown paper bag, it's already recycled scrap. Plus that newspaper from 2011. Okay, I'm going to call it... yeah, I'm going to call this... I'm going to let it dry and solidify. That wasn't supposed to rhyme. And next time, we will dip in the glue mixture, which, believe it or not, I know from my first one, it does not make the whole thing solid. It does not make it a glued mass composite. It makes things a little bit stiffer, but when you start cutting it, if you have pieces that did not hold together, you'll find out really quick. That's it. That's all. You know the process from here. I clamp it, put it in the vise. Next time we'll glue it and hammer it some more. Thanks for watching. Have a happy.